Two, one. All right, we're opening today. Presto Picks, Week 14 games. We already gave you the teaser on Thursday night, and Cowboys did not come through. But hey, that's part of it. That's one game out of 13 games. So we're gonna see what happens as we go forward. How'd you review the Thursday night game?
Oh, how did I view it?
Yeah,
A debacle,
a debacle.
a letdown.
The Cowboys let you
Yeah,
down.
they were on a hot streak. The fuse was burning, and we thought it was going to lead to something, but it did not. Ultimately, the Lions, they showed their true dominant form and still put up a lot of points, even though the defense of the Cowboys added a few pieces, but and they had came through in the previous weeks, but this week they didn't have anything for the Lions. So it's just
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, they had me drinking the juice, and the juice didn't get me nowhere.
yeah, I kind of, man, I guess here on the show, we kind of said that, man, I just don't trust them this week. But, hey, they were on the streak. They were looking good. But see, I think CD Lamb going out too that game, that concussion, that really, really slowed their momentum. And then this the first week they had some problems with your boy. Your boy finally showed up
Yeah.
this week. Yeah, they've been talking about Pickens all day,
Yeah.
about all the different things. He wasn't running routes or, wasn't talking to nobody, wasn't doing all kind of stuff. So they saying like, oh man, like this little stint he had with the Cowboys was his good behavior. But over his career, I mean, this is more like this game is not a one off. And then the rest of the time it's been a one off.
Mhm.
So yeah. So yeah, Cowboys didn't come through, but that's one. The league looking pretty good. I think we had 5 or 6 out of 29 who took Detroit. So
Actually, it was eight.
eight,
Yeah,
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 eight.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. A
that's
quarter of the league
yeah, quarter.
almost.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's pretty good though.
Almost. 27, 28% got a victory on game one. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
The Elder 2025.
Yeah,
You
the
can't
elder
find us, look us up. Poolhost.com.
DAELDER 2025 pool host. Poolhost.com will be coming at you next year with more league, more competition between teachers, postal workers, fire maybe. We'll see though. But all right, we're gonna get into these week 14 games. We're gonna start off with the game number one, the 8-4 Colts at the 8-4 Jaguars. The Colts are 1.5 point favorite. And how you looking at this game or what you thinking?
Oh, man. The way I'm going through this game right here, certain things seem to be tight. I've just never been a believer in Lawrence. He gives me more of an Eli Manning type of feel. Like he's here, but he's really not. He's
He
not
not one
necessarily
to
here. Yeah, he's just not. Yeah, he's not convincing. Yeah, he just doesn't convince me as if he's that. I mean, I can't say much about Daniel Jones either. As
true,
well.
true.
But, yeah, they both have. I mean, he gives you Eli Manning look as well when he's looking for. He
Yeah.
like a little spaced out look, but with just the way the things are going with the ebbs and flows of the season. I tried to count the Colts in and out, out and in, with their record and things like that. But with the way I'm going right now, I think the running game is a little more stable in Indianapolis. So I'll probably roll with the Colts on this one. That's just the way I'm leaning towards right now. But anything can change between now and Sunday morning. But right now, I'm favoring the Colts.
All right. Let me give you a little tip here. It said the Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014.
2014. Yeah, the AFC South has some strange little trends they have going on. Like the
That is
Texans
a
didn't beat the
lot.
Colts for like 10, 12 years or something like that. It
That
was a
was some
strange
Peyton
dynamic.
Manning though.
Yeah,
These two
it's a
teams can play every weekend. And they can't be going 11 years.
so you say so they have one yeah, well,
The Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014, and both tied atop of the AFC South with a hot Texans team, right on the hill. So this game is gonna matter. Then you got Sauce Gardner, he out.
yeah.
He gonna be out, and then you also got the number one rusher versus number one rush defense.
Oh, okay,
So
that's
you got that, and hey, pretty good matchup from what I can tell for Tyler Warren. So Uh, like I said, the Colts are 1.5 point favorite with Vegas, and they saying the game will probably be over under 47.5 points. So, man, I think I'm gonna take the Jags in this one based on the man 11 years, 10 years, 11 years.
Yeah, the history of that.
Like,
That
how can you not? They done had some bad quarterbacks in Jacksonville in that time.
still were able to manage a win.
And I mean, come on, man.
Yeah.
You just think about they line up a quarterback. Come on, now.
That
You
little tidbit of information, I might be persuaded to change a little something myself. Because I see you kind of followed up with me on Tuesday, on excuse me, on the last show we were doing that you were more heavily favoring towards the
Detroit,
Lions.
yeah,
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 yeah. But
yeah.
listening to my little tidbit of things I had to say that you changed your pick or whatnot. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, that's what the show is for. We give you a little tidbits on some picks. Let you get to it. All right. So I'm leaning towards going with the Jag, and we'll get the game too. All right. We got the 4-8 Bengals at the 8-4 Bills. The Bills are 5.5 point favorites. Uh, Allen has 4 straight games with an interception.
mm,
Man,
yeah, with a
that seemed
leaky
like old time.
yeah, yeah, with a leaky defense like the Bengals, they could use an interception, but if they could catch good, they wouldn't be such a bad defense. But with me, with being the fan of the team that I'm a fan of, being the Steelers, that is, I need the Bengals to pull out another good game this week. I need Joe Burrow to get his magic back, slap the Bills upside the head. Somebody need to get the Bills back to me and my boys. Something that, I mean, it was just we couldn't do our own work for ourselves. But I need Joe Burrow and his receiving core to go out there and get a Bills the business. So
Hey, that's
um, just like last week against the Ravens, I wasn't necessarily choosing the Bengals due to the fact I feel like Joe Burrow, have like a just rush, just not being away from the game for so long and things like I feel like he'd be rusty and things like that.
yeah.
So it's still hard for me to pick them because they did turn the Ravens over a lot. So
Hey, man, I saw a program today that showed the Bengals got a shot, and it's based on y'all winning. You know what I mean? Like, if y'all beat the Bengals, if y'all beat the Ravens this week, and then y'all lose, and the Ravens can drop the game, and the Bengals win out except for one game, they could actually beat
they can beat a
the,
division
the
winner.
division winner. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because they got y'all. You know what I mean? So this weekend, the Steelers gonna have to take care of their own business this week.
Yeah.
Head to head with the Ravens, because that could be the deciding factor right there. Because they'll play again, week 18.
Yeah, I
So,
do believe so. Yeah.
yeah, so y'all gonna be playing some football all year today.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's a nice little tidbit right there, nice little piece of information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'm not really confident. Like, although the Bills beat the Steelers, like say I'm about to say Joe Burrow, but my guy Allen. Allen didn't have a stellar game. Like say he only had 100, less than 150 yards, only one touchdown, a couple interceptions. So
Oh yeah.
he wasn't necessarily like the lead candidate, that propelled them to victory. So I guess I mean, just for a rooting interest and the things what I'm needing to fall in my favor, I'm gonna go ahead and take the Bengals on this one. It's not even necessarily a pick 'em thing. I'm gonna go with the Bengals just because I need it on a personal note.
Okay, okay. Well, we're gonna get to your game next, but let me add you one last tidbit. The Bills have lost their last 4 games versus teams with a losing record. So that'll be the extra motivation for y'all. Now they lost their last 4 games against teams with a losing record. That's kind of bad. That's kind of bad. All right, we'll go to game number 3 for this weekend. The 6-6 Steelers at the 6-6 Ravens. The Ravens are a 6 point favorite, which says a lot, because you don't give favors out like that.
Yeah.
Like 6 points is you saying that one team is clearly better than the other. But let's say the Steelers gave up 200 plus rushing yards this past week, almost 300. And, Derrick Henry should be getting some work. But, man, I'm feeling like, it's something going on in the Ravens organization.
There's a little rift in the locker
It's
room
some happening,
between
man.
QB and RB, huh?
Some, man. Because there's no way if Lamar not going to run it, you should be happy just handing off to Derrick Henry. Just hey, let that man eat. He gonna be the star, right? They're gonna take us to the playoffs or whatever. But you know, Lamar don't seem to be with it. It just don't see that joy in his eyes
Mhm.
when it come down Derrick Henry. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But what you thinking about this game? Because it's on a personal level, Steelers, Ravens, big matchup.
Um, right now, the Ravens haven't done a lot to convince me that they're the team that they have been the last couple of years. And that's a big but. The Pittsburgh Steelers just don't seem to be able to defeat any team that's worthwhile. They did beat the Colts a few weeks back, but like I was saying back when they played that game, the Colts haven't really played anybody, which is kind of like the Ravens on their little 3-game win streak they had. They really haven't played tough opponents as well.
Right.
But it's just, and it's hard to drink the juice. It's hard to go with them right now. They look one week they'll pull off an amazing win, and then they'll look so bad. The next and like I think four of the games they had, four of the games this year they've had to lead at halftime, but still wind up losing the game by end of the fourth quarter. So it's like they're completely different than last year. Last year they dominated the third quarter. This year once they go in halftime with the lead,
Yeah.
they come out and they plunder it off. So
Well,
I,
everyone's definitely talking about y'all coach this year. That's a big time thing right there. Not making adjustments. So now that y'all have Wade Slade, which the Bills tried to pick him up. He said he didn't play.
he don't want to play no more.
Like he got Wade and the Bills picked him up, and he said, "Nah, I just stay at home."
Yeah, well,
Like, man, I don't know what happened with that either, but that's
yeah,
that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Like you get on a team that may make the playoffs, that may, you know what I mean, but you just played there, and it was like your last game or whatever,
yeah.
or whatever. So it's like, man, you get to get on a team that's going to the playoffs. Got a pretty good chance, and he just said no. But so with him being out, do they move? Um, what's your Jalen Ramsey back to cornerback, or are you gonna stay at
Mm.
safety?
No, I think that yeah, he's definitely gonna stay at safety. They're gonna they brought the Asante Samuel Jr. up from the practice squad, so he'll probably get more reps. Him, Pierre, and Joey Porter Jr. and Epps will share like the cornerback positions. The first
Okay.
two corners, the nickel and the dime positions as well. So yeah, I don't no need for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I
And
mean,
those would be the guys, the Sons of Samuel that they recently signed. And also they brought in Alan Thielen. Excuse me, Adam Thielen. So he's a receiver from the Vikings.
yeah.
And I was thinking like, wow, Pittsburgh State bringing in all these older guys, without much tread left on the tires. But if you look at it like this, he wasn't getting a lot of burn in Minnesota, but they do have Atkinson, Hodgkins as the tight end, and also Jeffrey. So Jefferson, I'm sorry, not Jeffries, Jefferson. So there's not a whole lot of room for the ball to be passed around with a young quarterback. You have Carson Wentz, McCarthy, and then the guy with the head, Grossum, or whoever the name was
They
last
ain't
week.
got no quarterback.
Sorry to disrespect you, Mr. Grossum. But yeah, so I just maybe
Bozeman.
hopefully hopefully Adam Thielen still has a tread left that he'll be able to make a couple plays for Aaron Rodgers and help put a spark in that offense. But you know what? Uh nobody's impressing me, so I guess I'm gonna go with my heart on this one. I'm gonna roll with my Steelers. I'm gonna go black and gold to the bowl.
All right, black and gold to the bowl for you. I'm gonna have to go with them Ravens this week. I think they just gotta, they in playoff mode. They gotta be,
Yeah.
and Lamar haven't been playing good at all. So that bodes well for the Steelers. But Lamar don't usually have his best games against the Steelers. But the last two, he's been all right. Got the win in the playoffs last year and the win at the end of the season. But however, he just this year, I don't know, he's just not having one. He's just not on one this year. And usually, if he own one, the Steelers still, kind of
Mm-hmm.
wreck him. So we'll see how it goes Sunday. But I just feel like the hope and the energy running a little higher in Baltimore than Pittsburgh.
They're definitely not scared of the Steelers by being a divisional rival. They have no extra respect for them and things like that. So the way they beat them in that playoff game last year, I think there's really, I'm really thinking they're just looking over the Steelers at this point. I don't really think they can consider them much of a challenge. But we'll see how the game
Oh,
goes on Sunday. But
the way Lamar playing, they better start looking at a challenge because he ain't doing that much better than Aaron Rodgers. So,
When you can hand it off for 300 yards,
Yeah,
any quarter, I can quarterback and get,
yeah,
all I got to do is make 3 good throws.
yeah. But if you a threat, I ain't got to focus on Derrick Henry. But he ain't been no threat to run. He still haven't just let them jets go. You know, he tiptoeing around and tiptoeing around. Hey man, and turning it over too. So I'm kind of hoping you keep it. You know what I mean? Like Derrick Henry been turning over some, but Lamar been like, man, Lamar been giving that thing away. He been back, got one touchdown, 5 interceptions, and that ain't two of them fumbles. You know, like last week he just handed the ball out to another dude.
But 40 times has never lost. So I mean, he's still a nimble guy, a fast guy, a quick guy. But I'm sure he doesn't, have the same speed he had when he came to the league. So he's
Mhm.
taken a lot of hits over the years. Well, not necessarily a lot of hits, but he's played a lot of balls. So he's probably have slowed down a little bit, in the league of, just a inch here, an inch there, a split second here. You lose a step. You never know. Maybe that could be a determining factor to why he's not running. When you take off running, he's probably hearing people in his ear hole compared to how it used to be. He used to be running away from people, but they still on his hip now. So maybe that could be a particular reason why he's choosing not to put himself in harm's way out there. You never know.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, you never know what's going on inside a player head. But
Everybody slows down a bit.
hey, you can be slow and still be the lineman though. You ain't running against nobody but fast. It's slow. It's faster than 90% of the other quarterbacks for sure. You know, and it's good as a running back with cuts and all. But you know, like you say though, you never know. Some can hurt, and man, you know, may not be good with pain. You know, to be like, man, I ain't trying to get hit again, trying to get hurt again. You know, it just won't be the same. So, you know, whatever you're doing, it ain't looking right. That's all I'm saying. But I'm gonna go with them this game because I feel like they just more in playoff mode, and the Steelers trying to maintain and then maintaining. I don't know if maintaining gonna get it done. You know, you got to come out there with that. I'm a foot belt the ass type attitude. You know,
I
this week,
understand.
and I
Yes,
think Baltimore got a little bit more of that than Pittsburgh. And with both of them coming off a loss last week, I mean, man, they had the opportunity to get up. But all right, let's go to the next game. We got the 9-3 Seahawks at the 4-8 Falcons. The Seahawks are a 7-point favorite, and man, it's just Seahawks been looking so good, you know, so good, but it's still Sam Darnold.
yeah. The West Coast to East Coast.
West Coast to East Coast, but they do good in West Coast to East Coast daytime games. Everybody say like don't let Donald have no feature game. But anything like this, where you're not watching them, like he gonna have all them numbers. They gonna break into your game, the game you really watching, with all these Donald things, right? But when they become the game that you're really watching, like no, he ain't gonna do nothing in those games, which has been true so far this year. But yeah. So how you feeling about this one?
Definitely got to go with the Seahawks. I feel like Kirk Cousins is knocking off some of the rust by Penix being gone for the year, and Kirk just haven't really impressed me the way he used to play and things like that. It could be even though he, like I say, he does have the ability to lead a team and score a lot of points, but I just don't think he's gonna be able to do it at this particular point. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks on this. If Donald was hot last year, he got the Seahawks rolling this year.
Yeah,
I just got to go. Like I'm just gonna the record precedes the game, so I'm just gonna just going by the record by itself. I think that
there
go
you go.
Seahawks.
There you go. We both agree on that one. All right, we got the 3-9 Commanders at the 4-8 Vikings. The Vikings are a 2.5 point favorite. Mariota is not playing this game, although his last 4 games he had 200 yards and a touchdown each game. But Jaden Daniels should be back this week. And man, how you think about what you think about this one?
So Jaden Daniels coming back for the game.
Yes, and also DJ McCarthy.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, both
Both
sure.
both of the starter quarterbacks be back in the South. Hmm. And not a whole lot of sparks to go with here. That once I was definitely thinking. I mean, they finally started to get a little rhythm. It seemed like with Mariota, even though it wasn't like high flying, he was able to convert a few third downs there with his leg and the short dump off and things like that. allowing the receivers, the tight ends to make the long enough plays. But
They
I
lost
say,
6 in a row. Too.
yeah, well, yeah, like I said, they started getting a little traction. I didn't say they were good at winning. I wasn't playing winning football. They started gaining a little traction because when he first came out, they weren't looking, and there was no cohesiveness and things of that nature.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
uh, even though McCarthy's coming back, he had a good year last year, things like that, but he really hasn't showed me anything impressionable this year. So, the Vikings seem to be a better team. So, they can make a few more plays.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, more than like that. I think it'll be like a Minnesota type game for me on this one. I would have to take I'll take the Vikings.
All right. I'm thinking Jaden Daniels, they have a little bit of soul left from last year, going to the NFC Championship. I mean, they ought to be able to take care of the Vikings. Uh, I just don't believe in J.J. McCarthy. He hasn't been doing anything. I think he has the lowest quarterback rating since Jamarcus Russell. Well, him and Geno Smith together. But for a career starting off, you know what I mean? Like this all McCarthy got. Geno has some proof of, his game.
Stable, yes,
But McCarthy don't have anything. And it's like, man, he not hitting on nothing right now. And he got those two good receivers. And they like, this is Jefferson's worst year of his career. He probably like, man, think about quarterbacks. Y'all really rating this year? So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Commanders on this one, based on the fact Jaden Daniels coming back. They kind of got some of their receivers back, and if Mariota was hitting on 200 yards the last 4 straight games and touchdowns, then man, I can just say like, man, 250 yards and a couple touchdowns should really take care of the Vikings. They just don't seem to, score enough points or stop anybody. So yeah, I go with the Commanders on that one. We got the 2-10 Saints at the 7-5 Bucks. The Bucks are 8.5 point favorite. Tampa got the second easiest strength of schedule left, and of course, I'm gonna go with the Bucks on this based on me just being a Buck fan. But however, the Saints just not showing nothing. Tyler Show not showing nothing, and it is a division game. And any year that we usually win some good games, the Saints usually split with us one time. So I'm thinking about that, but I just can't see the Saints producing enough. We played the first time, we beat them 20-3. It was just no drama. They didn't have no fight in there. But we'll see this Sunday though. But definitely leaning towards the Bucks to take care of business pretty easy.
yes, I have to roll with you on that. The show was Shuck. I don't know. They say Shuck. I don't see how you pronounce it, Shuck. But okay, Tyler Show, Tyler Shuck. But
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna roll with the Bucks on this one. Yeah, Baker definitely with his weapon. The thing I think everybody started to get their feeling for the game back. A couple big injuries and stuff like that. People coming back around, getting into the lineup. A couple weeks worth of playing. I think they'll get their rhythm back together. The Bucks really need to start making a good push for the playoffs. So that
yeah,
they really start to get it. They need to get their cohesiveness back, get the offense flowing. A couple plays here and there on defense, what they're known for. Not a stellar defense, not a very super stout defense, but a play here and there every 2 or 3 games, give Baker some a little help. Yeah, I see Bucks definitely pulling this one out without a problem.
yeah, yeah. All right, we got the 5-7 Dolphins at the 3-9 Jets. Miami is a 2.5 point favorite. Uh Man, the Jets are 5-1 in their last 6 games underdog.
The Jets are five
The
and
Jets
one.
are 5 in their last 6 games as home underdog.
Oh, home underdog. Okay, I
So
was going to say they've been underdogs for a
yeah,
while.
they've been underdog. Yeah, but when they have them like with the spread at 2.5 points, like they've been covered, they've been beating that. So, but this one's so close, it's like man, to cover 2.5 points. I mean, what you're gonna lose by one, So the Jets, at home with this game right here, but the Dolphins before the break, they won like 2, 3 in a row.
Yeah.
So they've been looking pretty good coming up to it, but we'll have to see on Sunday. So how you leaning on this one?
I'm leaning all the way to Miami.
All the way with the Dolphins?
Yeah,
Man,
leaning
the
to
eight
Miami.
chain train. Yeah, any of you who play any kind of sports betting, I mean, eight chain is good money, boy. I mean, he has stats. He's touching the ball. Man, his usage rate is so high. He getting handoffs, he getting passes, he getting all of it, receptions and yardage. So yeah, uh, Dolphins seem to be the easy pick on this right here, but man, the Jets, because they at home 5-1 against the spread, and the spread only 2.5. I mean, beat the spread, you may beat the Dolphins. So let's say the Dolphins have lost 7 straight games in sub 45-degree weather.
Hold on, they have not, or they have.
They have.
They
The
have lost. So
Dolphins have lost 7 straight games in sub 45-degree weather. That ain't that
that could
cold,
definitely, yeah,
but it is gonna be less than 45 this Sunday. So
that could be a factor. Definitely could be a factor.
but the Jets on
Right
it,
now, I'm going for this, but I tell you on Sunday morning, I'm about to check
yeah.
my weather map. If we get some snow and things right there, that could
For,
validate them
for,
3 points.
47 back over there. 45, 47 with a
Yeah, yeah,
2-point
yeah.
thing.
They be playing the Jets.
The Jets on that old
Yeah,
raggedy field up there.
it can get cold up north. It can get cold up
Yeah,
there.
it's gonna be cold. But like I say, 7 in a row, seven straight
Straight
games
game
in
at
sub
home, yeah,
45
with
degree
the
weather.
weather. Yeah.
Yeah, home team weather. Um, but good running game. Hey, are you gonna be able to tackle? The Jets will do that. All right, so both leaning towards the Dolphins, but just a little information on those Jets. All right, so next game we got the 1-11 Titans at the 3-9 Browns. Cleveland is favored by 4.5 points, but the over under is kind of surprising at 33.5. 33.5 is very few points, but you can see these two teams not scoring a lot, even though they both have who were the top rated QBs coming out of college last year. But man, I'm kind of liking the Browns a little bit. But what about you?
Definitely, I'm riding with the Browns because I have more confidence in their defense being able to shut down Ward. Um, but I'm thinking these two quarterbacks, not necessarily the Browns versus the Titans, but it's kind of been like a back and forth between Shadur and Ward ever since the draft. Even with the combine and things like that, they've been kind of having like a little small back and forth. So I'm thinking both of them are going to try to come out and put their best foot forward to show
Yeah,
not necessarily the Browns what he has or the Titans what he has, but I think these are two quarterbacks, only one on the field at a time. But I think they're going to play a game with each other against each other.
yeah, the
So,
ego.
so,
Yeah,
so they, you might get their best showing, just because they're trying to prove something to the other guy. I was better than you. I'm better than you, type of thing. But
that
they,
Browns defense go. Hey, put
oh,
something for Ward though. That ain't no
yeah,
fair fight
yeah,
though.
yeah,
That boy
definitely.
came with the 300 and
There's definitely a difference in the defenses, but I'm gonna roll with. Excuse me. I have to roll with the Cleveland Browns on this one, but I do think the quarterbacks are gonna have a performance like no other that they've had so far this year. Ward has had more starts under his belt than Shador, but Shador with the better defense, I'll give him the game. But as far as how they're gonna play, I really think they're gonna step it up and try to show the other quarterback, "Hey, I'm just better than you."
yeah. Well, I'm gonna definitely look into their field goal kickers. 'Cause, man, that's what this is seeming like. But it's at the Browns too, so it may be Ward who went to Miami. First cold game. It's like, man, like you don't know what they gonna do, but I know one thing they haven't done this year is beat nobody straight up. So I'm doubting they're gonna get a chance to beat the Browns, but I can definitely see it being 9-0. Uh, something crazy like that because man, I don't know where the scoring coming from with either team. And
Yeah.
then but the running game I guess could get going with Judkins for the Browns, but I just don't know where the Titans gonna get any points from if it ain't long field goals in the snow or in the cold weather. So definitely gonna go with the Browns on that one too. Don't know what that score gonna be, but like I said, it's 33.5 over under. Definitely seemed like a under. And they wouldn't have put it that low. They had to think of every scenario to keep that thing in the 30s. There ain't a game I've seen all year where it's just 33 points. Man, that's saying nobody goes go.
Mm.
Vegas used to have it pretty close there. All right, let's go. Next game, the 10-2 Broncos at the 2-10
Mm.
Raiders. The Broncos are a 7.5 point favorite. Um, Man, Sertain is back, and he's matched up with Bowers pretty good throughout the year. So, last time he held him to one catch and 9 yards on 4 targets. So that was pretty good. Take your best cornerback and put him on their best receiver, even though he's a tight end. But he take advantage of the linebacker. So worked pretty good before. So how you looking at this one?
Oh, well, we definitely got to go with the Broncos. They're riding the high street. Peyton got both Knicks playing. Nobody really foreseen this coming with the Bo Nix experiment. So definitely got to roll with Bo Nix. The defense made a play to save them because Mariota almost beat him. To me, he was going to pull out. The running back was wide open out in the flats, but the defensive, potentially DPOY, defensive player of the year, he just made a heck of a play on the ball. But I'm definitely going to go with the Broncos on this one. I don't see the
Yeah,
Raiders having a chance.
yeah, they escaped one last week. That's for sure. Right? That's for sure. The Raiders just don't block nobody, man. And then the Broncos gonna be coming through that line, boy. Yeah, Mariota almost got him, but that's like you say though, it ain't over till you get them. Dog, you one play away, and that one play didn't happen. The Broncos are 6-0 outright versus losing teams. So they like, hey. However, they 1-5 against the spread. So the spread is 7.5 points. So they may not win by 7.5 points, but they definitely beat the losing teams, and that's a characteristic of Sean Payton. Being a Buck fan, him being with those Saints, man, they take care of the team. He take care of the teams that he supposed to, and that's make them hard to catch, man. Make them hard to catch considering who they got left on the schedule. All right, so we both got the Broncos, and this one pretty.
Beginning of the year, remember the Broncos, they had lost what? Uh, then they lose like the first 2 or 3 games without being down, not 1 second of the first. Either they were tied or up by one
Yeah,
point.
they
They lost like
won.
3 games. Yeah.
Yeah. But I thought they won a game. They won games. They were
Oh, okay.
losing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
They were
they won.
losing in all of them. And then they
Okay.
hadn't had a lead, but like for a few seconds on the year, but they had won like 3 games.
But yeah, I mean, once
Comeback
again,
kid.
yeah, you gotta be right there on the edge. Last year they lost a lot of games. Lost a lot of games by one score. But this year they're winning.
Yeah.
Same like the opposite of the Kansas City Chiefs. I think last year the Chiefs were 10-1 in one score games. This year, the coin has flipped around on them. So now they're
Yeah.
losing those games. So,
Yeah, absolutely on that. Okay, Broncos. We started on the Broncos. All right, I got the 9-3 Rams against the 3-9 Cardinals. The Rams are 8.5 point favorite. The Cardinals are 0-8 against teams with a winning record.
we're gonna go with that. We're gonna make that 0-9.
Oh,
Picks going
9.
my way. They're gonna be 0-9 against things waiting over.
Hey, I agree on that. We keep it short on that one right there. The
Yeah.
Rams all the way. Rams all the way. All right, now this right here may be the game of the week because it's for the division lead in the NFC North. You got the 9-3 Bears versus the 8-3-1 Packers. It's in Green Bay. The Packers are 6.5 point favorite. Six and a half
Yes.
point favorite. That's a lot of points for a game in division with a 9-3 team, 8-3-1 Packers team.
Yeah, I just failed to see the potency of the Packers, but they're steadily winning. I just don't really ever see any special or immaculate plays from Love, but everybody give him his kudos. Everybody give him his props. He's this guy. But with the Bears, Caleb Williams seems to be making a few plays, and with the addition of Ben Johnson, I think they've all bought in. Like the Bears to be 9-3 at this point, starting off 0-2. So that is, like what 9-1 out of the last 10 games.
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
so they got something rolling within themselves. They're building their chemistry and things like that. Uh, it just seems like by me having this disbelief in the Packers, they always seem to hurt my score sheet. I mean, I keep going against them, but hell, they keep winning. So,
Yeah, 8-3-1.
well, yeah, maybe I'll roll with the Packers this week. Just let me get on the bandwagon. Let me get on the pick bandwagon. I'm gonna roll with the Packers this
The
week. See
Packers.
if they let me down because I sure have definitely been going against them. I've never been like impressed with them. It seems like there's no, hey, look at me. There's no star on offense, nobody for you to really just to get involved with to feel like, man, it's going to be a dominant game for this person, that person. But it's just they're getting the job done. So I guess LaFleur have a plan. So we have to go with the Packers. I think.
All right, all right. Man, this one had me pretty much split. Um, I'm liking the Packers at home. However, both teams played their best game of the year last week. So uh, man, but I don't trust Jordan Love to perform like 2 games in a row. But then um, you got the Bears. They perform. Their quarterback not really performing that well altogether. And their coach said this week we're winning despite the passing game anyway. So he's like, we're gonna get better at this thing. So yeah, I'm gonna lean towards the Packers right now. But Sunday morning, I don't know. I gotta check this one out. Check this one out. The Bears can do it. We've seen them do it, but man, it's so much ride on that game. And then you got good defense on the Packers side, decent defense, all right defense on the Bears side. But if the Bears get to running, you know what I mean, then that makes the game winning time game, pretty
Shorten the game,
simple. Keep it simple.
shorten the game, and keep possessions away from the Packers. But
Yeah, and the Packers are a passing team. Passing teams must cool off a little bit when they cool out. All that North, that NFC North division. All that's whoo, and the AFC East. It's like the game totally changed. But most of these teams now are passing teams, so we're gonna see how that affects them come the time of come the winter time. So, all right, we're gonna move to the next game here: the 7-5 Texans versus the 6-6 Chiefs. The Chiefs are only a 3.5 point favorite. How you feeling about this one? This gonna be at the Chiefs, cold weather.
H Town down. I am H Town down in this one.
You
I'm
down with the
just
H down, and that's
yes,
okay.
yes. Not the only particular reason why I know I'm going with H Town. Like anytime the Chiefs get in a big game and Mahomes can't set his feet. Basically, what I mean when the pass rush is on his,
Yeah.
he has a horrible game. And what can the Texans do? They have a great defense and they can get after the quarterback. And by it being as cold as it's gonna be, 1 or 2 hits on that turf, I don't think Patrick Mahomes gonna be out there really trying to get that ball and run around and get slammed on that turf too many times. So I think he's gonna be letting it go, quick throws here, quick throws there, and the Texan defense can deal with that. Now when you let him sit back there in the pocket, play this way, play that way, scramble up, roll back, and then throw the ball deep downfield, yeah, they're definitely a threat at that point. But when Mahomes is running for his life and there's a defense hunting him, he doesn't really seem to perform well. So I'm gonna go with the Texans on this one.
All right. Yeah, I'm feeling that same thing. I think the Texans should be able to pull it out based on the defensive pressure and Mahomes' record against pressure. Just not all that. Especially watching them play against Denver this year. But man, watching the Texans, the way they got at the Bills quarterback, how they got after all the other ones. You know what I mean? They looking pretty good, but they 7-5. So they went after everybody. Everybody wasn't phased by it. So if anybody could be able to do it, it should be Mahomes. But they making it hard to believe in that Chiefs thing this year, and ain't nothing wrong with a dynasty falling off a year or two. They still got some comeback in them. Let's see. The Texans 0-2 versus the Chiefs. Both times, in Arrowhead, both times it was under 30 degrees. So same weather expected for this time. So they 0-2 and 30 degrees or below weather game in Kansas City. And this tonight.
Yeah, I'm aware of those things, and I think I'm still gonna go with back defense travels.
Defense travel. There
Defense
you go.
travel. Let's get that butt. We got better barbecue anyway.
There it is. Now that right there, oh man. Like I don't want to offend nobody before we get started good. But man, Texas barbecue versus that Kansas boiler cube is what I call it. You cooking, ain't no smoke outside. There's probably some smoke coming up out of that thing. Like, we got boiling that meat there. But That ain't how we do it. That ain't how we do it. But they gonna go with greater or better. We're gonna go with it's different. All right, it's different. And I'm sure y'all like it, but you'll like some Texas barbecue too. All right, let's go. The last game of the week. The 8-4 Eagles at the 8-4 Chargers. For whatever reason, it don't seem like both of these teams are 8-4. The Eagles are a 3-point favorite. All right. Ah, tough one for me. How you feeling about this one?
Yeah, definitely. I feel the same way. It's a tough one because once again, nobody's overwhelming you with their presence out there on the field for the Eagles or the Chargers. Justin Herbert just had a surgery on the hand, so he's not 100%, but who is at this point in the year? But I would like to say this about the Chargers. Both teams seem like they have the games they're supposed to win, don't do it. The games you wouldn't think they'll win, they do it. So the Chargers just seem to be like a surprising team. The coach, Jim Harbaugh, he had them going, but then it seemed like he might be losing a little bit off his fastball with him at this particular point. They started off running hard, then they went to a passing game. So it, this one here's a little tough one to pick, but I guess when all else fails, you roll with the champs. You
Call the
just
champ.
roll with the
Yeah.
champs. You got to stick with them until.
Yeah, I did that the last 2 weeks. That ain't done me no good. Ain't done me no good, going with the champs. They gave up 898 yards the last 2 weeks. That's a lot of doggone yards.
Yeah.
898 when your offense not clicking too. Like, man, if your offense clicking, all right, 898, woohoo. All right, like the Lions. They gave a lot of yards last night, but we put 44 up.
Yeah.
If I put 44 on the board, hey, ain't nobody even look at them yards no more. But we got enough to eclipse you. But the Eagles, man, uh, Chargers at home. But the Eagles, I mean, this may be like a home game to them because, man, when they was at home last week, all that booing and all of that, that was like, man, like, are they at home or are they away? Because this was like, I mean, almost embarrassing the way them boys were getting booed, at home. But warranted, true enough, because people expect you to be the
The champ.
champion. But that's the same thing I was expecting. I was probably booing them too if that was the case. If that was the case. I know these Bucks get behind with these funky Saints, man, and let Carolina catch it. I'll be booing too.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Fly Eagles fly this week. Don't get it done, man. Get it done. Get the Cowboys. The Cowboys should be out of this conversation. And then, that should be about it right there. I mean, who else can do something in that division? Eagles should be nice and relaxed going into the playoffs, start getting the game together. But all right. So, any other comments about this week?
No, but just as far as like the elder the 2025 pick 'em, the year's winding down. We got to start making every pick count. So you do your research, do your homework, whatever you feel. A lot of times it's not good to go with your what you like say your fan favorite or things like that. You got to go with your knowledge and your information. So research your stuff, research your stuff, make great picks, and good luck to you guys.
Absolutely. Good luck. Good luck to you. 'Cause I'm trying to win. We ain't gonna be a part of all the leagues next year. But for this one right here, again, good luck to you. We're giving you our honest opinion on these games here. Just get some dialogue going between. We look forward to having people on after you win or if you got comments and things like that. We'll send you a link out and you'll be on the podcast or on the show right with us talking about your wins. And feel free to, come in with it, man. Come in with it, talk your shit. That's it. That's what we're doing here. It's fun. Everybody get to come in and make your picks like you do it the way you see games. Maybe really interesting to everybody else. Especially if you like other teams. We got Buccaneers and Steelers here, but hey, Texan fan, a Cowboy fan is always interesting. So, we're looking forward to doing that with you guys, and then even more people on next year.